Well, hello guys, welcome back. As you see, the wolf came in. The only way I can have him on camera is back there. He's about 25 inches with the ears. I knew he wouldn't be 30 inches. I'm like, that's big, 30 inches, but he's still pretty big. He came in, he was really compacted into that box. He was squashed down, so I got him and I brushed him out. And he keeps growing. He keeps expanding. It was kind of the skinny wolf when he came in. He's getting to be this big mesh wolf. So the old father's delighted with him. And he actually has this design in him. At first I thought, oh no, they sent me a broken wolf. He's designed so he looks like he has a ruff, and the only way they could have done that is that part of the fur on the back is like shaved really short so that the fur on top puffs out over it. But he's designed so he has that ruff, and he has his own ideas about which way his fur is going to go. And I'm like, okay. So that's probably going to be the first downstairs wolf. He's really big, so I think that's going to be the new channel mascot. And we did some more research into the Rift S. They are keeping the same exact library as the Oculus Rift, same exact home as the Oculus Rift. So I'm like, well, if the money falls out of the sky, guys, I will get it and I will show you that. But if it doesn't, it's actually going to be the same exact experience. I mean, not same exact. You see, like the sensor I have up there on top of the fridge, they're not going to have those sensors. It's internal tracking. It's different kind of controllers. So all those extra controllers I went out and bought because Oculus was like, yeah, we're going to expand. Please believe in us. And like at one point they were pushing a 4-sensor setup, and I have 3. Oh, Oculus, what are you doing to me? So, and the thing is, guys, if you have the money to burn, it's a fine middle step, but it's not the Oculus 2.0. And as I said, VR is not quite where people think it's going to be. You can't scoop up in most places, you can't scoop up handfuls of sand. The only improvement I'm seeing with this S is that a lot more people are going to be able to play VR, and they're trying to market to the masses. Some people said, no, they're trying to market to developers, but you can have a lighter rig and do this. Though, please be aware, I went and I looked at the sales page. The lighter rigs run anywhere from around 700 to over 2,000. So that's an addition if you don't, or if you're not ready for, for it. That's in addition to the cost of the Rift S. I would be able to play it on this PC. I would be just fine. I would meet the minimum specs, and they're trying to work it so that it can work with a lot lighter rigs, but you're still going to have to invest the money there. I'm gonna say I'm honestly seeing about a decade before VR gets to where they want it to be, where you could run it on the lightest rig possible and it would run just fine, and it would be a minimum cost. They're really going to have to bring the cost down because, the cost right now is like around $400 plus taxes plus any gigas they bring out. And, most people don't have iPhone money. Most people don't have like $1,000 or so to burn every time a new phone comes out or new VR comes out. So I think it's going to be shaky over the next 4 or 5 years for VR. I'm like, they're bringing out one. The Vive is bringing out a new Vive. Steam, I wouldn't worry if you have a Vive. Steam seems like they're ready to support stuff forever. In fact, I think they brought out a couple things to compensate Vive owners now. Like, okay, we know you can't just go out and buy a new system every time we bring one. Here's some nice stuff. At least that's what I heard. I don't know. If you have a Vive, you can tell me differently. But it was definitely one of those days where Odin's like, are you going to see the positives in this situation, or are you going to see the negatives? The positive is that since they are bringing out a new platform and Facebook just didn't wander away, which every Oculus owner was terrified of when they bought us out, we'll be getting new experiences. So there will still be the same exact home, same exact experiences. And it would not affect your experience, by the way, guys. If I got the S, it would be another thing of you just having to take my word for what it looks like inside the S. You would not see anything differently because you're only going to see what my monitor is going to show you. You're not actually seeing inside the VR, or you will be seeing that old-fashioned double image. We have some coffee before I cough on you. So hopefully this is going to encourage a lot more developers to get into it. It's not the Rift 2.0 yet, but you know, I'm hoping if that comes out like within a couple more years after that, then they expand on the titles they have and they do more. Um, the thing about VR is I love it. I love doing it every day. It's a big part of my life, but you either love VR or you're gonna hate it. It's at a shaky place right now where um it's not people are used to movies and music and all this other stuff as entertainment and say YouTube and Netflix and everything else. But it's still kind of like at the novelty stage, if you guys know what I mean. And everybody wants to get into it because it's new and shiny, but then because it doesn't do quite what they thought it did, a lot of people got right back out of it. You can buy Rifts used on Amazon. So I enjoy it, but honestly, I'll be honest, you either like VR or you don't. I would suggest trying to find a place where you can see it demoed or go to an arcade or something and try it out because that's going to be the same exact experience you get in your home. And if you don't like it, that's fine. It's not for everyone. YouTube's not for everyone. I know people won't use the internet, so it's like everything's not for everyone. So that happened, and it was definitely Odin and partially Loki being like, how are you going to look at this thing? Are you going to look at it like, oh, now I have the old system? Or are you going to look at it like, well, at least I know, thank the gods, my library and my home will be stable. What I was really worried about, and nobody knew, was whether they were just going to cut us off completely. But it looks like we'll be here for a couple more years to come, at least. Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm hoping the Rift S does well. There's this little petty part of you that wants to see it fall flat on its face because it's replacing your platform. But no, I actually want to see it do well, because if it succeeds and it sells a ton of units, then the Rift 2.0 will come out. That Rift 2.0 is not going to come out unless this sells, and I think they kind of know it. And they're trying to make the shift as painless as possible for us. They're keeping the same library so we wouldn't have to reinvest the money there. Keeping the same home so we won't have to redesign it. In fact, I can go right into my Rift today. If I had an S today, which I don't, I could go right into my Rift and say, yes, add this Rift S. I got one, and I could just pick up where I left off. I would have to relearn the controls and everything because they're different kind of controls. They look like they stole the Vive controls, is what they look like, because they're more like that Vive circle one. And I love the Rift controller. I love these controllers, and people have said, people that love the Rift have said they don't actually like these new controllers as much because these are the over-the-knuckle grips. I like this. They're better, and if you crash your hand into something, you have protection. And I have dropped these things. They're built like a tank. I've dropped these things. I have cracked my head into this oak table. I've cracked my head off the back of the fridge. I've had a lot of accidents with the Rift. They're built like a tank. I wouldn't say take one off, throw it up in the air. That would break it, but they're built like a tank. Like when I put my ticket in, she asked what happened to make it pop out in the first place. And I'm like, well, I have dropped it, but that was years ago. And I have like smacked my head off this table, but that was also years ago. I'm like, honestly, the day it popped out, I just set it down on the table and it will poof. I said, no longer pops out, and I figured out all I had to do was take that weird screwdriver that looks like a golfing pencil, take it out, and tighten up that nut on that side, which is good because they're not making the Rift anymore, so probably can't get the parts for it. So, you know, thankfully, you know, it's lasted. It's stood up for not quite 2 years. I haven't had mine for 2 years yet. But thankfully, guys, we'll have a lot more VR on the channel. I do have a couple hundred games, but it's like the way this channel is naturally evolved, it would be kind of weird to drop a zombie game or a haunted house game, or you really have to be careful with what you use. I dropped one game on the other channel and I got a worldwide block on it. I got a global block on it because of the music in it. And I was like, really? Seriously? So you do sometimes have to be careful what you drop. And like I said, a lot of these people are kind of petty. Like I tried to bring you a Jeep thing for surfing, and there are watermarks all over the video. I mean, watermarks to the point where you can't watch it. So it's kind of like there are lots of great experiences or hundreds of great experiences. But it would be kind of weird to drop like an extreme horror experience on you guys when you're used to seeing nature and everything else. And it's a lot of that. It's like VR, it's some people have said, "Oh, they're just making games to play on YouTube." Actually, a lot of them wouldn't translate successfully, I think, to YouTube, but there are a couple hundred games I have. It's really hard to look at them and say, yeah, I think people will want to see this. You'd want to see it in VR, but I'm like, 2D? I don't know. I don't know. And the thing was, too, with the Rift S, I was like, well, that's the same exact games I have now. And I honestly play. I have a couple hundred games. I honestly don't get nervous. A lot of those were free. VR right now is like the land of free apps that never go anywhere because they never make the game. It's this thing of I maybe play like 10 of them. There's like maybe 10 I play, and it's like, well, that's a lot of money to play the same exact 10 apps. Even if they look 10 times more amazing, it might be fun for a while, but then the glitter, it kind of wears off. You love it, it's beautiful, you love going in every day, but it's like, I don't know if it's worth like a couple $100 to be able to just see this in a supposedly prettier presentation. So that's where we're going with that. Hey, if the money falls out of the sky, I'm not stupid, I'll get it, but if it doesn't, I'm actually totally okay without having another system. And I've told Loki, sometimes you get tired of playing video games, you get tired of playing VR. It is a heavy system to put on your head. I said, it's probably going to take a decade in getting them down to about the size of my glasses or smaller before people are going to really enjoy them. Like if you had like, the Star Trek Next Generation, like that headband that Geordi wore, that people will probably pay for, but the big box it is now, and it can induce migraines, and if you have sinus problems, oh my god, and it hits these pressure points, yeah. Right now it's like sometimes it's a painful torture device to put on your head. And I'm not trying to shoot VR in the foot, but it's like people have said that. It's like it's too heavy for a lot of people to wear. A lot of people were getting sick. They really did improve it over the last couple years. I mean, when I first got mine, I was ready to cry, guys, because imagine I'd spent all this money that I was terrified of spending and having panic attacks. And the very first time I went into the home, it was just this little platform and a screen. And every time you would turn your head even a little bit, it would shimmy and shake and judder and everything, and it would give me these terrible migraines. I was like, oh my god, what did I spend money on? And then you get into the game, and the game would be fine, but as soon as you come back out into the home, it would shimmy and shake and everything else. I spent a lot of time regretting my purchase is what I did, but, over time, it's really bloomed into a viable platform, so, I'd say it's a good time to get in. Vive is bringing out a new platform. Steam's, yes, Steam is Vive. They're bringing out their new platform. I know Oculus is bringing out a couple new platforms. If you don't want to be tethered to a computer, the Quest would be the way to go. And they don't pay me. Believe me, they're not even giving me a discount on the new platform. They aren't like, oh yeah, you own a Rift, huh? Here's $50. Cheers. No, they're not even doing that for us. I wish they would. It would be a nice gesture, but then Nintendo never did that either. Nintendo didn't send me a coupon when the Super NES came out and go, here you go, cheers. So, it's overall a good day. We're finishing up pizza, treatza. So yeah, I buy pizza that lasts 3 days, so I'm like, it is kind of economical. And, we have the giant whoosh. And he is a beautiful boy. He keeps getting bigger and bigger as, he expands from being squashed in that shipping box. And, overall it's a pretty good day. It's really hot again outside. It's like 75 outside, so it's hot. It's May, but it's summer weather already. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.